circular motion of a charged particle in a magnetic field. When a charged particle is moving perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force radially inward and particle describes a circular path. See, let us assume that a positively charged particle enters the magnetic field. Magnetic field is into the plane of board here. So, at this point it enters. Let us say this is the direction of velocity. So, velocity is perpendicular to field. Field is into the plane of board and any vector in the plane of board will be perpendicular to field. Now, if you apply Fleming's left hand rule, that means forefinger should point in the direction of field, that is into the plane of board, and if you turn your middle finger in the direction of velocity, then the force acting on it, it is perpendicular to both of them, so it should be perpendicular to this, so it should be radially inward, right? Then due to this force it moves along a curved path. So if I consider one more point here if you apply Fleming's left hand rule, you will find that the force is it is directed inwards, radially inwards towards the center of the circular path, right? So if you consider here, force will be this way. So at every point, force is making it move in a circular path. So here the magnetic force Fm is given by QVB. See, it is actually QVB sin theta. Sin theta becomes 1 because theta is equal to 90 degree, right? So Fm should be equal to QVB. This should provide the necessary centripetal force for circular motion. If it is moving in circular path, you know very well circular motion can neither be caused nor be maintained without centripetal force. So equate this to centripetal force, we will get mv square by r is equal to QVB. VV get cancelled. If I solve for r, it will be mv by qb. So this is the expression for radius of the circular path. So radius of the circular path depends on mass of the particle, velocity of the particle, charge and magnetic field. See, for a given particle, mass and charge will be constant. Suppose in the given region magnetic field is kept constant, if it is kept uniform, then r is directly proportional to v. More is the velocity, more will be the radius of the circular path. Further, if I consider this equation, r is equal to mv by qb, this mv can be written as momentum p, so it will be p by qb, where p is equal to mv is linear momentum of the particle, right? We know that if kinetic energy is introduced here, kinetic energy is p square by 2m. Now if I solve for p is equal to root of 2mk. So I can substitute it here. I'll get r is equal to root of 2mk divided by qb. This is in terms of kinetic energy. This is in terms of momentum. Now, if I consider time period of revolution, it is moving in a circular path, so we can define time period of revolution. Time period should be equal to distance travelled by velocity. Distance travelled is 2 pi r in one revolution. Velocity, I mean speed with which it is moving, it is v. So that should be equal to 2 pi by v into, substitute for r is equal to mv by qb. So what we get is time period is 2 pi m by qb. So this is time period of revolution. Then if I take frequency of revolution, it should be reciprocal of this. If I call it as f, that should be qb by 2 pi m. So notice one thing, time period and frequency, they are independent of r and v, right? They are independent of radius and velocity. See, according to this equation, very first equation we arrived at, as v increases, r also increases. So as velocity of the particle increases or speed of particle increases, the radius of circular path in which it is traveling increases. But time period and frequency doesn't depend on radius or velocity. They remain constant, right? So this principle is used in the working of a cyclotron. It is used in the working of a cyclotron. So this is about circular motion of a charged particle in a magnetic field.